All right. Let's go to Millie Weaver joining us from California. She's been all over the state. I'll ask her where she's at. Looks like L.A. to me. Investigating the admitted 474 reported pedophiles, including kids, and enslavement. They've been to the sheriff's department. They're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work. When they come back, you'll be hearing about. But Millie, thank you so much for sitting there for 15 minutes with Mike Cernovich. We got him on a little bit late, but I tell you, this is all coming together, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Alex. You know, we're out here in California. California has the highest number of reported cases of human trafficking out of all the states in the United States. So we're just out here investigating, seeing what we can find. We're going to be talking with various law enforcement agencies as well as nonprofit groups that actually firsthand rescue children from these sex traffickers. And we're even going to be talking with someone that's going to take us into the deep web where they sell these children online. It's pretty disturbing, but you know, we have Hollywood out here. We've had people like Corey Feldman come out speaking about pedophilia problems within Hollywood. And there's a lot of rumors, a lot of stories about massive pedophile rings amongst the Hollywood elite, Alex.
Well, there's been a lot of busts, too. Yeah, nearly 500 arrests in California human trafficking raids. They call it human trafficking in Reuters. It's little kids, 28 children, reported missing, kidnapped, forced into prostitution, okay? So this is confirmed. This is just one of over 3,000 arrests that have happened since Trump. I want to commend your courage and the crew, Zimmerman and others for being out there, as well as Gavin. But I got to thank the listeners, the audience, our affiliates for supporting us to be able to do this, Millie.
Yeah, well, thank you listeners out there that are funding this, because we're actually being able to really investigate, go, you know, and expose these pedophile networks out there. I mean, just being told a little bit with our anonymous source about the way they sell these children online, some of the gruesome stuff. I mean, we're not going to actually be showing any of that. We're not going to be seeing it firsthand, but we will take you guys in and show the, you know, websites where they're in fact selling these children online.
The dark web, and you're going to obviously blur out his face. This is a respected person that's actually saved folks, involved with good folks in the federal government. I got to tell you though, the special forces, the good people in the FBI, CIA, they're all ready to go. I mean, Trump has green-lighted a move against these people. That's why they're panicking.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty disturbing. Anyone would get motivated to want to try and stop this. And you know, Alex, if good men just turn the blind eye and they don't do anything, then evil will triumph. That's just what happens. So more people need to get out there and start, you know, going out and trying to fight this. And that's why we're going to be talking with law enforcement so that they can give us tips on signs to look for and how to report these type of situations when you see a child or a young girl or boy that you think is being trafficked.
Absolutely, and you've got a lot. You've got a person that has been involved in finding child traffickers, pedophiles on the dark web or deep web. And we have another report, L.A., that goes directly to rescued victims, also work with the L.A. County Sheriff's Department. Tell me about that. What's going on? I'm talking to the Sheriff's Department.
Well, as far as talking with the Sheriff's Department, they've actually been very reciprocative and helping us go ahead and set up interviews. They've actually seemed pretty excited about getting that message out there and having more people hear from them that they really are fighting this and that they want to give people tips on how to stop this, which would lead to more busts for them. Because a lot of times what happens is these children or these young girls, they are too afraid to come forward and say something themselves. A lot of them will actually defend their traffickers because they're afraid. These traffickers threaten their families.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, exactly. They are terrified to come forward. So it actually is going to require your everyday citizens on the street paying attention to what's going on around them. I mean, if you see some young girl with some older guy that looks kind of bizarre and maybe he's flying her to somewhere else and you're noticing something's off here, they don't look like they could be related, you know, it might be good to report something or, you know, have that looked into. And the problem is most people just mind their own business. They don't.
That's right, because people don't want to believe, you don't want to believe this is going on. And young girls, that's the tip of the iceberg. That's the visible area to get into the networks. We need to save them. But we're talking about young children. We're talking about snuff films. We're talking about Satanism. I know you guys are investigating that as well. I don't want to tip off what you're doing there on that front, but I want to get you know, some basic info straight ahead with Millie Weaver on the other side. And then in the 30 minutes of the fourth hour, and then David Knight takes over, I have the former SEAL team leader and Patriot federal officer, Craig Sawyer, joining us, who wants to lead this private task force to cover all this. Oh, my gosh, Eric Prince of Blackwater met with the Russians to discuss a way to cut off Iran and to ask him to join the United States coalition. Can't have that. It's treason. Going back to Millie Weaver in a moment for this segment and the next, and then my next guest joins us. Millie Weaver, getting back to your Satanism investigation, because there's political control in this and personal power for those involved. But you grew up in L.A. I don't know how much you want to get into it, but you grew up witnessing all this. I mean, I remember when you were, you know, in TV shows and stuff, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago and doing, you know, a reporting force out in L.A. You're still now young, 24 years of age, but, you know, here working for Infowars. But what's the inside baseball in this? I know you guys are investigating serious Satanism, without saying names, at major institutions in Los Angeles.
Yes, well, thank you, Alex. And the problem is that we have a lot of these cults, these satanic cults that are rampant in Hollywood. I mean, there are so many different types of these cults, but one of the most prominent ones is OTO, which is Ordo Templi Orientalis. It's an Aleister Crowley satanic occult, and it has members in it that are celebrities, that are people in high positions of power.
And really, it's a league of dumbasses acting like they have secret knowledge.
Yes, and you know, they want people to join their cult group prior to giving them that power in that seat, so that they can control the artist, whoever's the one, you know, that's in power in that position. And that's really the bottom line. And if you want to think of it from a little bit more of a secular point of view, think of it as these cults are trying to make sure that people join in order to obtain blackmail on them, which will make it so that they are basically puppets that are easily controlled by the cult. So what happens is when they have people join their group, they engage in these bizarre rituals, these Aleister Crowley rituals.
Well, remember Bob Dylan said he sold his soul to the devil for power, said he wasn't joking, and it was a Taylor Swift. They all say that. The devil, or these people, convince them that their talents came from the devil, so that if they just sell to the devil, they'll have power, when all they're doing is believing the fraud, when their own talent got them where they were. I mean, that's the greatest thing. And I'm one of the people here, happened to Mark Dice too, but I just knew it was all a big joke. And so we're 1,000 times more powerful not joining them. Back in 70 seconds for hour number 4, we'll finish up with Millie. And then the Saw Man. Oh, with the biggest intel on Pedo Gate yet. Everybody needs to tune in now. Millie Weaver is on the ground in Los Angeles, overlooking the fetid hell of the New World Order, the place where dreams die. It's the big South by Southwest, the big con, the big lie, Satanism. Give me your will and I'll give you the knowledge, but only knowledge of twisted failure, not the knowledge of the stars. But we'll call you stars because you're the opposite of stars. You've got the dead shark eyes of a great white. All right, Millie. Let's get into what else you're on the trail of.
Well, you know, more onto the Aleister Crowley stuff. They believe in harvesting the energy of children. So when they're doing these things like raping these children or torturing them, they feel that they're harvesting their energy. We're actually going to be going and getting exclusive access to these manuals where they have detailed descriptions on how to essentially bloodlet these children and drink their blood and steal their energy. These elite actually believe that it will make them live longer. So part of it is, in essence, vampirism, to where they believe that they're going to live longer, they're going to be more powerful, have more psychic powers, and all this delusional stuff.
I wonder what powers I get if I take a ball-peen hammer to one of the convicted people's heads.
Yeah, I bet most of the listeners out there are feeling the same way right now, Alex, as I describe this stuff. And, you know, it's really not that fun to get into. It's not fun to have to hear about, but at the same time, this is going on, this is happening, it's real, and this is what is making it so that our politicians and our public figures out there are being compromised.
And you're also investigating how this ties into Sharon Tate and her murder. That was all spirit cooking admittedly. So you're there. That was a CIA operation that's been partially declassified. So you guys have got the mother load when you come back. We're very excited. What else are you on the trail of, Millie?
We're just on the trail. We're going to go down to Irvine, where recently a human trafficking bust happened. It was with a bunch of girls that were mostly from China and Korea, where they were being shipped around from state to state. And it's traced back to Irvine, California, a really nice neighborhood where, in fact, a mom and her daughter were the ones kind of ringleading the whole thing with a group of other people. They were just basically trafficking these young girls around for these sex parties, these trips to where they were calling it basically the Uber of sex trafficking.
Unbelievable. And I love how men commit most of the outright murders, but so many times it's the little loving woman, the little baking cookies and stuff, and then there's meanwhile, a dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, we have madams out there that have been famously caught trafficking young women. But it goes both ways. It's not just only a thing with men.
That's right. And then this Irvine thing is they've been accused of it. The police are saying this. They say they have the evidence. But look at how Hillary pretty much exclusively represented pedophiles when she was a lawyer. That was to prove to the system how evil she was. Because the word is Hillary's not into kids, she's into women. Okay, whatever. But you've still got to serve this combine to be part of the club.
Well, recently, 3 university students were arrested for prostitution, and I have a video report just out on the Alex Jones YouTube channel that we just uploaded today. And actually, one of these young prostitutes that was arrested, her Facebook profile picture was her with Bill Clinton. So there's just another example of the Clintons kind of having these odd ties to.
Well, Jerry Epstein, yeah, absolutely beyond that. Well, girl picture of Bill Clinton arrested in prostitution bust. That's up on Infowars.com. Just now breaking. Millie Weaver, you, Gavin, Zimmerman, all of you guys, feel free to file reports in your own right. Want to hear from them as well. We'll check in with you each day, Millie, but don't let the live show get in the way of the really deep reporting you guys are doing. So be safe. We're praying for you, Millie.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.
You bet. All right, straight ahead, the Saw Man, Craig Sawyer, SEAL team leader, Patriot, Dev Group, whole 9 yards, stars in 3 TV shows and 2 others. Patriot launching the national movement to document the pedophile rings, the busts that are already happening with big intel straight ahead. By the way, we sold out of the fluoride-free Made in America by the biggest company out there, private label for us, fluoride-free with iodine and nano silver, as well as tea tree oil and, of course, the peppermint. We sold out of the adult formula, but this is the child's formula. Exactly the same, but with no peppermint. It has the tea tree oil. It has the iodine. It has the nano silver. Super blue. And I told my dad when he designed it, he's a dentist and oral surgeon, I said, it's paint. He goes, it's the same thing. It turns blue. It's got real iodine in it. It turns, grayish blue. I said, okay. But that's the label he designed, too. It's a bestseller. Everybody loves it. I mean, at least the last one was. It sold out. This is the child's formula. Because we had a lot of people with the first run, 8, 9 months ago. We've had like 5 or 6 runs now. Say, this is really strong. Well, it is twice concentrated. It is concentrated form. That's how we want it. It's real strong. It doesn't have any fillers in it. It's totally natural, organic. So this is great for your children. It's $9.95, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. When you sign up for the free newsletter today, you'll get 50% off the Good Halogen X2 Nation Iodine. That is selling out. Then we have more shipments about to be produced, but then that may be it for this formulation. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you we've had problems getting more of it, and we're the only folks who get the deep earth source. Everybody else makes it out of kelp. It's just not the same thing. Iodine gets bound in with other substances, and then it doesn't get delivered to the body. That's why everybody should get X2 today and support the broadcast. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.